When first buying a rental property, you might be trying to figure out if you should be buying with a loan or all cash. Preferably, I like to take on debt when buying rental properties now, although in some instances I don't. Just like everything else in life, there's pros and cons, and I'm going to dive into it right now to explain to you why I prefer taking on debt and borrowing loans when buying rental properties rather than all cash. Let's go. Maybe professionals in the space have told you to buy rental properties in all cash or with debt. Whatever it is, I personally like to buy with debt, and I've been buying extremely actively lately. I started my real estate business in April 2017, and to today, I have gotten to about $50 million in rental properties. Right now, my business is scaling faster than ever, and my portfolio is growing nonstop, and the only way that that's happening is by utilizing bank loans. I'm going to get into the nitty-gritty right now, explaining to you step by step what type of loans I like to take, why, and in what instances I don't take them, and I hope this helps. We're in Houston right now, walking our new 56-unit crazy property here. It starts down there.
We got a lot of billion-dollar.
First things first, we're going to talk about buying properties all cash. In many instances, you have to buy a property all cash in order to win the bid, especially right now. This is February 1st, 2022. The market is extremely competitive. The only way investors like myself are able to buy properties really fast with no contingencies other than clean title is by using all cash. And I'm not even talking about hard money. I'm saying coming in, all cash transaction, fast closing, money in the bank, ready to go. So when you're trying to buy something all cash or outbid your competitors, go for it. If that's what you have to do to win the bid, first things first, and most importantly, you want to win the property if it's a good deal. If it's not a good deal, it's a totally different conversation. You shouldn't even be buying it. But if it is a good deal, you make sure you get that property because you can always refinance, even if you have to refinance with bridge lending in order to get the money in and out very quickly. Let's put it simply right now. If in today's climate, you're capable of buying a property with a loan, then you definitely should do it. Rates are low. They're not all-time low. That passed after COVID, as COVID simmered down a little bit, but they're still low. And if your yield isn't higher than your interest rate, then your deal's probably not that good, and I would suggest against it. But for example, if I'm buying a property with an 8% cap rate, an 8 cap, for example, and I'm borrowing at 4%, I'm going to rinse and repeat that process. I'm going to take loans at 4% in order to buy properties that yield an 8 cap. Now, it's like a bell curve. When you buy something with lower interest, your cash on cash gets substantially higher as long as your capex isn't substantial and doesn't outweigh your purchase price. I know that was a lot. What that means is you're leveraging in order to make more money on your money. Instead of making 8% on your money, if you're buying an 8 cap, you're going to be making, say, 12% on your money because the bank is financing most of your purchase. Next, and extremely important, is that lending gives you more purchasing power. The banks have more money than you. There's more money out there in the lending environment than probably anybody watching this video, unless Elon Musk or Jeff Bezos are here right now. You probably don't have billions and billions of dollars, and if you do, God bless you, go to avgi.co. We're always looking for more heavy hitter investors. But with that being said, I'm buying a property for $1 million. The bank will let me get away with $200,000 down and say $50,000 in closing costs. Instead of coming up with $1,050,000 in cash, I'm coming up with $250,000 in cash, and I'm still buying the same property. Of course I have a mortgage now, but I'm buying rental properties, so it makes sense. The rent covers the mortgage, taxes, insurance, and leaves some more after all of the operating expenses. In the meantime, instead of spending my entire $1,050,000, instead of investing it all in that one deal, I put out $250,000 and I still have another $800,000 to play with in order to scale my holdings portfolio. Now, there are tax benefits with borrowing money as well. Debt isn't due to the IRS. You're not paying the IRS money on the money you borrow. So, for example, if I buy a property for $1 million and I refinanced $1.2 million, my $200,000 isn't taxable because I borrowed that money and it's due back to the bank with interest. This is really difficult for a lot of people to grasp, but it's technically not profit because you're borrowing the money and you have to pay it back. Also, when paying that loan, the interest that you pay is deductible at the end of the year when you're going over everything with your tax professional and it comes to tax season. Lastly, the most beautiful part of debt is that you can grow without using your own money. What I mean by that is when I got started, I was buying $250,000 houses. Today, I'm buying $5+ million projects utilizing bank financing. The same money that I was using back then, hypothetically, if I put out $1 million in cash, I can use today to buy $5 million worth of properties. Leverage gets you into the bigger game, and bigger game means potential for bigger returns. So there you have it. That wraps up today's video. I hope all that stuff made sense. Personally, I've been taking full advantage of today's lending environment. I'm borrowing as much money as I can, racking up the debt with the banks and every lender I can in order to buy more cash flowing assets. I hope you do too. At the end of the day, it's a person by person and investment criteria basis. If you have plenty of cash and you're deploying it and you just want to get it out of the bank, I wish you the best of luck and keep going. If this video helped you, I want you to like and subscribe to my channel. I'm going to be posting more similar videos. Share this with a friend. This is the age-old argument of whether to buy cash or to take on debt. Share this with whoever you're arguing with about this, and let's hear what they have to say. Borrow money, work off the banks. This is America. The sky is the limit.